That's excellent. I can see that. So if everybody could just give us a yes if you can see that. Yeah. Okay, all good, says John.
Okay, great.
If anyone has any problems, just let me know. Yep. There's a few yeses coming in now.
Okay.
That's great. Excellent.
Has anybody got any questions regarding Pixel or anything else before we get started on this first video? What we're going to do with the video is going to play it. Anybody got any questions within the video, please ask and we'll pause it, we'll answer them as best we can, and we'll get to the end of the video, we'll take your questions, then we'd like to know what kind of things you want to see next week.
Yeah, and I'll monitor the questions window all the way whilst the video is playing, and if we need to, I'll just jump in and ask Richard to pause it for everybody.
Yeah, so just wait a second, see if we've got any questions before I get going. No.
Any Pixel questions first?
Yeah, Pixel questions first.
Any Pixel questions would be great. We'll deal with that. If not, we'll go on with the marketing. John's asking, these will be in the back office. Yeah, these will go into the membership part of Pixel.
Yeah, they're going to be on we're going to put the webinars as a whole, but the videos, the presentations that we're going to shoot, they're going to be in separate videos because obviously we don't want you having to go through the whole webinar just to get to the sections that you wanted.
Yeah, so over time you'll be able to build up your own back catalogue of different videos to do with different aspects of marketing, which will just be there for your own resources, and you won't have to wade through all the webinars to get to them.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you're going to have to remember, this is a video that's going to play on my computer, so the audio might not be absolutely perfect, but you will be able to listen to this, as I said, on the back office as well. So that being said, let's get going. So make sure you can all see that before I press go.
Yep, that's fine.
We just had a pixel question come in from Vance. What about Animator GIF? What would you like to know about it, Vance?
He was asking if it was available a couple of weeks ago, but it is available now.
Yeah, it's been available for quite a few weeks now.
Yeah, I did it today. I tested it before tonight's webinar and I got it working fine. It took a while for it to come through, but that's just because of the amount of time it takes to bounce down. So you have to be quite patient sometimes, Vance, when you request one. It won't come through immediately. No, within an hour you should get an email, and then you'll be able to download the GIF once you get the email.
Yeah, you'll either be able to get it from your email box or directly from the app inside. We've got the download section now. Okay, great. Any more questions? No. So let's get going.
That's cool.
Okay, here we go. Hi. So what we're going to talk about today is retargeting and why it's important. Whether you have 10 visitors or 10,000 visitors a day. We're going to show you how to make the most from those visitors and, what systems we use so you can implement as well if you wish. So firstly, what is retargeting? Well, most companies online now use retargeting, whether it, be to bring you back to the product you've already looked at or just to bring you back to the site. Everyone must have noticed, if, for example, you go to look at a holiday site, you might be looking to book a holiday. You will be retargeted for those holidays and other holidays, at a later date. As soon as you go back on Facebook, you'll probably see an advertisement pushed to you, for a similar type of holiday that you've been looking at. I myself, I'm forever getting retargeted with ads for JV promotion because I, obviously visit a lot of JV pages. So, in theory, ads are only ever shown to visitors who are interested in your product or your site. So, in theory as well, you should get the cheapest clicks and the best conversions because those visitors are already interested in your product and they've shown an interest in what you're actually selling. So why do we need to do retargeting? Well, sometimes buyers need to be shown an advertisement a multitude of times before they decide to make a purchase. What that's called, it's called effective frequency. That is the number of times a person must be exposed to an advertising message before a response is made and before exposure is considered wasteful. Because obviously, if you're showing the same ad, for example, if I came to visit a site selling watches, and I was shown that same watch constantly over and over and over and over again, at a point, I'm not going to buy it because, I've already decided it's not for me or whatever. I've already bought another watch. So you're kind of wasting your advertising money at that point. So you've got to decide at what point do you stop showing them the ad and maybe show them another ad for, say, a different type of watch or a watch-based product. I mean, sometimes like you've got impulse buys, which can be, you maybe need to see it one or two times before your mind's made up. It can also be instant as well, but I think sometimes the more expensive the item is, the longer it takes for the buyer to actually make up their mind. So, what system do we use and why do we use it? Well, we use Perfect Audience. And before you ask me why I don't use Facebook ads, I'm going to give you a couple of reasons. And I'm going to tell you, I've been using Perfect Audience since more or less they first came out. So I am a veteran with them. For me, if something works well, I kind of tend to stick with it. Even if I find a little bit cheaper service, if I'm working with what I'm working with, if it's working well for me, I kind of stick with it. So why do we use Perfect Audience? First reason is they don't ban your ad account for the drop of a hat like Facebook do. Now, in Facebook, if your ads are turned down multiple times, then you are at a chance of getting your ad account closed. So what Perfect Audience does, it gives you a buffer between yourself and Facebook. Second, it's much, much easier to get ads approved through Perfect Audience than it is through Facebook, which is crazy because the ads are actually going onto Facebook, but for some reason, ads that I have had refused on Facebook will go through on Perfect Audience. So also they use multiple platforms all in the one place. I can use web, Twitter, Facebook, all under the one roof, and I can monitor my accounts, monitor my campaigns, all from the one place. So we use Perfect Audience almost like an autoresponder, such as GetResponse, Aweber. So rather than actually collecting leads, what we do is we're collecting cookies of the visitor. And we market to these interested visitors with the same product or similar. So there's lots and lots of platforms out there like Perfect Audience, but at the moment, if you give them a try, they're giving you $100 free credit and a 2-week free trial. So it's definitely worth testing out. I'm not giving you any kind of affiliate link or anything like that. If you want to test it out, go to the site, fill in the free trial, take the $100 free credit and give it a go. Because even if you're getting only a few clicks a day, you can start to build your list on their free $100 credit. Okay, so here we are inside Perfect Audience. Now you can see this is the account that we've been running for the last 30 days. You can see we've sent a lot of clicks back to the sites, a few conversions. So we've made $1,150 conversion value. It cost us $266. So obviously, we've got 500-600% of his money back. So it's really good conversions. Now, first things first, when you first get your Perfect Audience account, the first thing you need to do is to obviously create your audience. So what you do for that is you come across to manage, come across to create audience. And what you need to do, you need to create it under a web action. You need to give the audience a name. So, for example, if this was your Shopify site, you'd call it Shopify watches. Now the duration, this is the duration that you need to keep the visitors cookied. Now I always leave this blank to keep them in there indefinitely. So, you keep that cookie as long as they don't clear the cookies, you're going to keep that cookie there. Next, the path. So this is the path that you actually want to retarget. So for example, on Shopify, if you had 10 pages, with 10 different watches, you could create a page for every single one. So anybody who visited the Rolex page, you could retarget with Rolex watches. Anybody who visited the Omega page, you can retarget with Omegas. All you need to do is add in the path to that URL there, and it starts to retarget. Now here at the bottom, you've got a couple of things. Now, I don't bother with any of this unless I'm doing some really in-depth retargeting. The only other one I bother with here is email. Because with Perfect Audience, you can track people who open your email but don't actually click on it. So what you can do is, for example, if you sent an offer for a watch, but they didn't click on it, you can retarget them with, for example, 10% off if you wanted to. So that's all you need to do. Click Create Audience. Once you've created your audience, you'll see like this. So you've got all your visitors. You can see, when it last updated, how many's in the audience, etc. This only shows the audience for the last, I think, 60 days. So your audience, I know for a fact my audience is 10 times bigger than this, but it only shows, that for some reason the last, I think it's 60 days, or it might even be 30 days. So that's how to create audiences, and you must do that to start. Okay, so once you've created your audience, the next thing to do is to actually start tracking your visitors. So to do that, all you need to do is come across to Manage, User Tracking. Now once you have the user tracking, all you need to do is grab this little bit of code here and put it onto your HTML page. So all you need to do is just copy it and you just add it before the closing body tag. Now if you're using WordPress, which most people probably are, all you need to do is come across and grab their retargeting plugin, and all you need to do is add that onto your WordPress site, click install, and it adds the code for your retargeting to every single page. So you don't need to do anything at all. Also, you've got Shopify here as well, exactly the same. It's very easy to just install on Shopify. I use it on Shopify. Now, iOS, I've never used it on iOS, so I can't give you any advice on that. But this is, as I said, copy for your HTML site. Now you can edit these values here if you wish, but I kind of, because I track a lot of different products on a lot of different sites, I kind of just leave these as they are, and use the custom audiences and the conversion code to see how much I'm actually making through the tracking. So let's move on to the next section. Okay, so the next section is launching a campaign. So you've got launch new campaign. You've got the mobile app campaign. As I said, I've never done iOS with Perfect Audience, so I can't advise you on that. But then you've got web campaign, newsfeed campaign, and a Facebook campaign. You can also set a Twitter campaign. Well, that requires going through Twitter ads, but so I'll cover that in a later video. So first, let's start with a web campaign. Hiya, mate. Hiya, Paul.
Hi there. There's a quick question that's coming from Doug. He's just asking, how do you actually pay for your retargeting, and to who if you're using Perfect Audience, which is a good question.
Yeah, I do cover that a little bit later, but what you do is when you're launching a campaign, you've got to add your credit card details into Perfect Audience. So you actually pay Perfect Audience, you don't pay Facebook, or because they're kind of buying the ad blocks in bulk. So when you, for example, buy a web campaign, you're actually paying Perfect Audience, but those ads get placed on a multitude of ad networks. So you're only paying one person rather than having to pay kind of a lot of people.
Okay, great stuff.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
campaign, what that does is it's just you can add normal, banners of multiple sizes, from leaderboards to little square ones, 200 by 200 normals, 468 by 60. You can see some of mine here. So they're just normal banners. Now what you can do is, once the visitor has visited your site, you can track, you can advertise to that visitor across all the different ad networks. So for example, they may have visited your site, they then may move off. The next couple of days, they may visit YouTube or eBay or Hotmail, and they could possibly see there one of your banners. So what you can, in theory, do, have your advertisement follow your visitor around the web. So obviously, the more they see it, the more likely they'll come back and visit your site. So to set the web targeting, all you need to do is you decide which audience you want to target, and then to do that, all you do is click the button on the side. So I'm targeting that audience. Forget about geo target and day part for the moment, and all you need to do is click create new ad. You add in a URL to click on. Now I track my visitors via Improvely. What we'll do is we'll cover those at a later date, but you can use any tracking URL here. So you can see the ad sizes that they support. You've got a very good wide rate of variation that you can use. And then all you need to do to add those in is just click select image. It'll browse and upload the image, and then just click create ad. That's all there is to it. Then set in your campaign details, decide on what your campaign budget is, run it starting today. The bid type, always go for optimized bidding. Then what you need to do is you need to add a conversion goal. So I'm going to show you how to set a conversion goal in a little bit. And that's all you do. Is the conversion goal is somewhere that you want your visitor to end up at. So for example, if you're pushing a banner back to your Shopify site, that could possibly be your cart page, or it could even be your thank you page, whichever you want to track. So for example, if you're tracking a $50 product, at the conversion page, you could set that conversion goal at $50, because you know that they've clicked on the advertisement, come to the site, paid for it, and gone to the thank you page. So all you need to do is click to do a conversion goal, is click create conversion goal. You give it a name. So for example, if that was Rolex watches, you'd type in Rolex watches. You put in the specific phrase that you need them to come through. So for example, so if that was your thank you page, you put your thank you page in there. If that was your cart page, you put your cart page in there. You decide on the value. So if that's $50, again, you put $50 in there. Now, conversion counting, don't count every conversion, because some people, for some reason, go back to the thank you page a couple of times. It adds up and gives you a false reading. Now what I do is I count once per user ID, per order ID, or once per user. It gives you much more of a realistic figure. And then just save and submit campaign. Then once you've saved and submitted your campaign, it'll be activated probably within about 2 to 3 hours. There's a few rules for adding in banners. You must have a domain on them. So if your domain's called bestwatches.com, you must say Best Watches on the banner. Okay, you can add, like I said, you can add animation in, but they cannot last any longer than 30 seconds. But animated GIFs do work well in ad networks. Okay, so the next one would be newsfeed campaign. Now, your newsfeed campaign is your newsfeed campaign within Facebook. A great place to advertise. It's right in the middle of what people are watching, what they're seeing. Definitely one you should be using. Same way to set up, target your audience, set up your ads. Now, if anybody set up ads on Facebook, exactly the same way. create the new ad, you can do the call to action button, so you can have no button, shop now, download, etc. Put your message here, so this would be then you'd click URL again. Now using Provely here to check who's clicking on what, etc. You can use what you want. I'll just put your raw URL in there. You've got your link headline, so this would, and then just type in here, what the product is. All you need to do then is upload an image. The image has to be 600 by 315. Again, very similar requirements to the newsfeed, but as I said previously, I have had ads approved via Perfect Audience that have actually been denied by Facebook. So don't know why, not a clue, but and all you do is click create ads, and you can see some of the ads we're running down here now. They'll get this little approved thing at the side. Again, it can take anything between 1 hour to 6 hours to get approved. You give the campaign a name, your campaign budget in it, run it continuously starting as soon as it gets approved. Optimized bidding, again, that's what I'd recommend choosing. Add in your conversion goal that we've just spoken about, and click save and submit campaign, and then it's off and running once it's approved. Then you've got the Facebook campaign. That is exactly the same as newsfeed, but you're just showing the ads on the right hand corner. Again, great place to advertise. Clicks are very cheap, and it definitely does work. So that's it for setting up the campaigns. Now let's move on to the dashboard so I can show you some different things on there, because when you first visit it, it can be a little bit daunting. Okay, so let's look at the dashboard and what you do on there. Now, dashboard can be a little bit overwhelming if it's the first time you've been there. Lots of different figures, facts, figures, etc. to look at. But once you get the how it works, it's pretty easy. So come across the dashboard. Let's set something for the last 30 days, gives a bit more to look at. Now, a lot of it's self-explanatory. Others is a little bit more difficult. Now, first at the top, you've got your different campaigns. You can look at different ones. But here you've got impressions served, so that's how many times your advertisement's actually been served, shown to your public. Clicks back to the site, that's how many times you've actually had clicks back to your site. Conversions, pretty self-explanatory actually, how many conversions your ads have converted at, and that's the cost of your ads. So, as I said, pretty self-explanatory that section. You've got your ads down here. And that actually shows you ads what you're running. So you've got impressions, that's for that ad. So you can see out of the different ads which are converting best. So you can order them up. So obviously at this one I can see, Alright. So that one's converted at 27 impressions, 27,382, 202 clicks. They were both the same, going to the same place, similar type of ads. So 27,016, about 178 clicks. So the click-through ratio on this ad was higher. So the ones that are lower, you can start kind of getting rid of. And once you start getting rid of the ones that aren't converting very well, your ad click will start to go up. So that's your cost per 1,000 impressions, your cost per click, and your actual cost for your actual conversion. So that's your actual spend cost per conversion. Bit hard to work out. Cost per click percentage, and then this is a view through conversions. Now, view through conversions are a little bit different. So, for example, you may have a visitor who comes to your site. They look at your site and think, oh, it's not for me. But then you start retargeting them. They see your advertisement, that they do not click on the advertisement. They come back to your site and they purchase through that. So it's view through conversion. So they've seen your ad, remembered your site, come back to it, and decided to buy. So here you can see This is the spend, so it's 33.41, so this will actually match this. Your conversions, I've got one, so the revenue must have been $50 per conversion, so you can see what you're making on that advertisement. Now you can see this advertisement here. This had 19 view-through conversions. Now, even though they're not counted, even though you can't actually count them clicking through, you have to remember those 19 people may not have ever remembered about your site till they actually saw it on Facebook or wherever. So they didn't actually click, but they came back to your site. So, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. In fact, the people are coming from the ad or they're coming back to the site, those visitors could have been lost to me forever. So you can see there I made $950 and only spent $33. Here I've got, that's a conversion and a view through conversion, so I made $100, spent $32. So obviously there'll be ad sections where you won't make any money. So what you need to do is, if those ads are running for quite a while and not converting, get rid of them. So let's go back to the main dashboard, the campaign. So if you can see here, all right, we've had 166,000 impressions. Out of those impressions, we've had over 1,181 clicks. The click-through ratio was 71%, which I try and aim for on the Facebook right clicks. I try to aim above 1%. If I'm getting above 1% on there, I'm happy. So that's a little bit low. So cost per 1,000 shows is $1.22. Now you've got to remember, now a lot of people forget this, anybody who visits and this is the IM niche, anybody who visits that site is actually a buyer. So you're retargeting buyers. These are not cold leads, they're hot leads, they're already shown an interest in your product. So you're retargeting, those hot leads. And if you're looking at a cost per 1,000 impressions for $1.22 for 1,000 hot leads, that is really, really cheap. Cost per click. So your cost per click at 17 cents for hot leads is ridiculously cheap. Really, really cheap. So I had 21 view-through conversions and 5 what that means actual assisted conversions. So that's your actual conversions. So all in all, that campaign cost me $202, or it has cost me $202. I've got a budget of $100 a week, and I've made a revenue of $1,100. Now, again, I may have got some of those conversions anyway, and but in my view, they may have never come back to my site. They may kind of forgot all about it till I showed it to them on the web, and then they remembered about that, went back directly back to the URL and thought, right, I'm going to buy that product. So let's have a little look over at the lifetime. Now it's going to show a bit of a different thing. So let's have a look. So we've served over 1 million impressions. We've had 4,872 clicks back to the site. Now, as average cost per click in those years, in those 3 years, is 19 cents. Now, if anybody works in the IM niche and these are hot leads at 19 cents, you're going to know these are, really cheap, targeted, hot traffic. So in that time, I've made just short of $8,000, and it's cost me, so I've made $8,000, just under $8,000, sorry. And, what am I talking about? Total inactive, so that's every one of my sites. So it's cost me $1,893 for the inactive ones and $763 that are active now, so that's $2,656 it's cost me, but I've made over $20,000. So that's almost 1,000% profit. So you can see if you're not retargeting your clicks, retargeting your visitors, then you're losing out on some really, really cheap traffic. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you're getting 1 click, 10 clicks, 1,000 clicks a day. You should be retargeting those people, building them into a cookied list so you can, carry on showing other products to them. So that's it for perfect audience. Sorry. If you've got any questions, you open a support ticket and we'd be glad to help you. If you do actually decide to use perfect audience, you get stuck, please again message us and we'll try and help you out. Thank you. Okay, so that was the video. So
okay, we've got a couple of questions I'd like to throw at you, if that's okay, Richard.
yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay. The first one was one which was asked was how much CPM do they charge?
It varies on the niche. It varies on. There's so many factors. It's just too hard to put a number on.
Too broad, yeah.
There's no set figure. They don't charge X amount per 1,000 views or anything. It just depends on your audience. There's so many factors involved. I mean, you can see that when I just showed there. I mean, that account is just mainly for the IM, market.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you look at IM leads, the cost per 1,000 for like a buyer for like $1.20, you'll never get that anywhere else. So the ones that
I've got a couple of people asking the same sort of question, and what they're all asking is just what isn't an approximate amount for the IM space. It doesn't need to be absolute, but if it's within a certain range,
you'll pay a couple of dollars. $1.50 per 1,000.
Okay, yeah, people were saying about $1.
You've got to remember,
it's about $1.50.
You can't put that on without building an audience first. You've got to build an audience first.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't put an advertisement on there and then buy those leads because buy those views. It's not that type of ad network. It's not. We're going to talk about ad networks, in later videos, but you've already got to start building this audience up before you can actually start paying for it, if you kind of see what I mean. You can't just join Perfect Audience and start without building an audience.
Yeah, okay. Well, one other quick question. Marion said she missed the last bit about if you decide to Perfect Audience something.
All right, I'm just saying because it's a little bit daunting sometimes when you first go, and if even though it's not our product, when you get stuck and you do decide to do anything with Perfect Audience, I'm quite willing to help you out, like if you get stuck, kind of thing. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, so if people do decide to use Perfect Audience, because we've got quite a few people who come on these webinars now, so anyone that does come on the regular webinars, if you did start to use Perfect Audience and you do get stuck, what Richard's saying is if you raise a support ticket on our support desk, he will be able to help you and answer it on one of the other webinars the following week.
Yeah. So
a few people saying thanks for that.
I mean, like I said, we're putting no affiliate links in these videos. These are just products that we're using. We know the work, so
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I think. What we said we'd do, and we've looked. People are asking us a lot of different ways of marketing and how we do things. So I think the only way for us to do it is to show you what we use is, I think, the best solution. And we won't be doing it for any sort of affiliate link or to make any money from it. We'll just show you what we're using and what we find that works for us. And if anybody can take anything from that, and the great thing is, if we do it that way, at least we can help you guys if you do get stuck, because we're using certain products on a daily basis. I know that there's 2 or 3 things that I use on a regular basis, which I'll do a similar thing to this and record the video and present it. And there's a few tools that Richard uses on a regular basis as well. So we feel more comfortable just showing you what we use, I think.
Yeah, that's it, definitely. Okay, so we've got any more questions on Perfect Audience retargeting or anything like that?
Yeah, there's a few people were asking about the video itself, and a couple of people had a problem with the sound. But what I'd just like to say is that the sound was having to be shown through GoToWebinar then. So the actual video itself should have a better sound on it.
Yeah.
And these will be available. Like we said earlier, if someone came on after at the start, we did say earlier what we're going to do is all these marketing videos and everything we put on here, we're going to put them all into the members area where you can just download them as a standalone videos, and you can make your own little catalogue of marketing videos. So you don't have to come back through all the webinars to watch the whole webinar to get all the information. Each of these videos will be a standalone video that you can just go in and download and watch it at your own leisure, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, there's another question just coming in now. Um, can I give Perfect Audience my email list and they can retarget my contacts on Facebook? That's a great question because I know you can upload your emails into Facebook to create a custom audience. So is it possible to do the same thing in Perfect Audience, Richard?
No, it's not. I wish it was. I'd be doing it straight away, but no, you can't.
Yeah, it's maybe something we could, if we all send them an email, they might bring it on as a feature.
I mean, there's quite a lot in there that I never actually showed. I mean, like, I'm quite successful with Twitter ads as well. Inside Perfect Audience, you can retarget your audience on Twitter using the Twitter cards, but it's a whole different
Yeah,
section. It'd take it like half an hour to show it, but I'm going to do that as well. So it's a great place to target target your audience, and it's extremely cheap as well. It's
yeah.
actually cheaper than price.
Yeah, we've got a couple of people saying that'd be great, and people are wanting to see them soon. So we'll pencil that in for one of the next weekly webinars that we do. I mean, Richard was speaking earlier today, and we'd like to try and make these more than regular. Try and keep it to a Thursday if we can, and just do one a week. So we find it's one day that we can both always make it quite easily. So
Yeah,
I think that's what we're going to do from now on, Richard, isn't it?
yeah. Thursday's a perfect day for me.
Yeah, it's just been a timing thing. I apologise for the last couple of weeks where it's been a bit hard, but it's just through different personal commitments and where we've been in the world. It's just been hard for us both to get on at the same time. But going forward, I think Thursday looks pretty good, doesn't it, for us
I
for the
mean,
foreseeable future?
we are both away at the end of the month for the trade show in Las Vegas. But
Yeah, we'll both be away in Las Vegas at the end of September and October. So there will be 1 week, but we won't be doing one. But we'll get one either side of it as close as possible.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, with Perfect Audience, I mean it's a brilliant way to kind of build up an audience. I mean, you don't have to be in the IM niche at all. You can be in any niche and use it if you're getting any type of traffic, whether it be one click, 50. If you're getting 20 clicks a day, you should be definitely 100% building that audience because over a month you have 600, cookies to retarget to. So even if you're in, for example, a weight loss niche, and they came through, I don't know, like a certain dietary book or whatever, you are showing them, showing them, you can retarget that same audience with a completely different weight loss offer, and then a different weight loss offer. You can almost make it work like a email marketing, because you've got those leads there and you can keep hitting them with different offers or the same products or similar products. If you're not retargeting, you're definitely leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
I mean, all big companies do it, and if working for, such big companies, you definitely kind of need to be.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody on this call has been followed around the web by an advert from some company at some point.
Yeah.
And it just happens regularly. I'll get a product that follows me for a week, and it'll be a different product the following week.
Yeah, I do all the time. Most of it's JV stuff, but yeah. Cool. Is anybody?
Okay, so if anyone else has any more questions regarding the Perfect Audience?
And also, has anybody what they'd like to see in coming weeks?
Yeah, that'd be great. If anyone has any requests, obviously a couple of people have said straight away they're interested in the Twitter ads and want to see that, which I think is a good one to do as well, Richard. But if anyone has anything else that they're interested in the marketing that they'd like to show us, do you want to see inside like email autoresponders? I mean, just give us some idea as to what you want to see. We've got lots of different tools that we use on a daily basis between us both, and depending on what it was.
Like I use Improvely, but you use the link tracker. I can't remember what it's called now.
I use Easy Links, which is the reason why I use that. For everything goes through that now. It's an amazing product. But I mean, we have loads of different products that we use on a regular basis. Many products that we've actually recommended to people.
I mean, I use Improvely. I'll do a complete video and show you why I kind of use Improvely. I don't know if like Easy Links are similar type of things like. But
right, it's people asking for Google Shopping ads. Well, that's something I have never been involved with. That Yeah, easy links real world application. Yeah, I could do that. I could do a presentation on that one. That'd be no problem. I use it every day, so I'll happily do that in a couple of weeks for you.
Google Shopping
Um,
is not something I've ever looked at neither, but I'm gonna start using it for a survival niche one.
Well, I was going to say we could have a look at that in the future. So it's something I wanted to look at for us doing the survival stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
So we could do like a case study on that and then follow it through, couldn't we?
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Can it do Instagram posts and ads? Are you talking about perfect audience there? I think.
No,
So
no.
we're saying can it do Instagram? No, it can't. It's just Facebook and other ad networks. But the perfect audience does push to quite a lot of different ad networks, doesn't it? Which
Yeah,
it appears on all sorts of sites all over the way.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
If you get a web one, it'll follow you around definitely.
yeah, because I've seen the ads that we've put up on there for when we've done the promotions. They've been on all sorts of sites.
Yeah.
Okay, there's quite a few more questions coming in now. Will today's retargeting training be in the members area? Yes, it will. This video will be there to download as a standalone video, plus there'll be a recording of this webinar as well.
Yeah.
Um, due to Google changes, less organic, more ads coming soon into SERPs.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, Google's changes, wow. It takes some keeping up with.
Any more questions?
No, I think I've got through all of them at the moment. Two more. Yeah. No, that's fine. There's no more questions actually start waiting for me. So, I mean, from your perspective, Richard, I mean, we could actually go through some of the autoresponders, couldn't we? We could do something like that. Or
Yeah, yeah, that'd be fine.
it
Yeah.
depends if people are interested in learning about the actual email marketing side of it, or whether it. I mean, I quite happily give people a run through of push notifications because I've been using them a lot recently, and I found it's a lot higher click through when you use the push notifications than you do from the email marketing. If people are interested in that, I can give a walkthrough of the different push notification platforms. I've used 3 of them now. Yeah, anything. If people just send us some suggestions, then we'll work out how we can do a little presentation around it. Okay, here's a good question, Wendy. Creating funnels in Aweber. If either of you use that, well, we use Aweber, but we both use ClickFunnels as the product for creating funnels and doing our pages. If anyone was interested in ClickFunnels, we could give you a pretty good overview of that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty good at
That's something we both use that every day. So if you're interested in ClickFunnels, but when you're saying creating funnels in Aweber, I actually have never done that, but I use Aweber and I use ClickFunnels, so I'm assuming it's probably similar.
Yeah, I mean, can do some pretty good case studies on both IM products and
Yeah, we can show the survival niche stuff and how the funnels work, and because
yeah,
we just followed the instructions that they were given within ClickFunnels anyway. Okay, and someone's after the push notifications info, so I'll look at doing something for the push notifications in the next within 2 or 3 weeks. Actually, I'll pull a presentation together for that.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Show you some of the numbers because the numbers are much higher than the email marketing, so it's quite good.
Yeah, they are. Okay. Any more questions?
No, that's the last one at the moment. Okay, guys. So if anyone hasn't got any more questions tonight, then we'll start to wrap this one up. Unless anyone's got anything that they want to know about Pixel, but I don't think anyone that was on earlier had any questions on Pixel either. So we'll look at doing. Have you any ideas what you wanted to talk about next week, Rich? Or do you want me to look at?
I've got a list. Together? I've got a list. What I'm going to work through. I can't. It's
okay.
Thrown down somewhere. I kind of worked out what I thought people, because I mean, like, really, in any kind, if you're sending traffic to any kind of website, you need to start retargeting. That's your first thing you should be doing, shouldn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. If we do it in order, what's needed, basically.
Yeah. So what I'm going to try and work through is the list I've tried to do is what I'd kind of do in order, to get most from, any traffic I was sending, kind of thing.
Okay. Rob says, what about the free stuff which you promised several weeks ago? I promised that I'd do a survey to find out what people wanted, and you get a piece of free software for filling out the survey. I've not sent it out yet. That could be what you were referring to. It was actually me, Paul, that offered that. So it's just me being weighed under at the moment. I need to prepare the survey. Once I've done the survey, there'll be a piece of free software for everyone who completes it. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I'll definitely do that this week, I promise. That will be done before the next webinar. Yeah, it's going on my list now.
Okay.
And one more question: how do I resell Pixel? Well, that's
We've got
an open-ended question.
Yeah. By how? What do you mean? How do you sell it?
If you go through the membership area and go through all the resellers' information, I mean that will give you as much as
we
need
did a full
to learn how to resell.
webinar on reselling as well.
There's a full webinar on reselling which you can find in the members area. So if you go through all that information first, and then you still have a question, we happily answer that. Okay, thanks for the link. Take a look at that.
Okay.
Okay, so if that's it, guys, for the questions, then it's 50 minutes. It's not quite an hour. Oh, sorry, there's one coming now. Okay, Ivan, what I'll do, I've got a document. Ivan's asking what colours in landing pages, what colours convert best in our experience. So what I'll do is I'm a big believer in the persuasion of colours and how things work, and I've got 3 or 4 infographics and documents and stuff that I'll pull it all together. It's what I've used personally over the last couple of years, so I'll pull that together, and then when I do one of the presentations probably next week, I'll show up all the different colours and why different colours are used and the psychology of it, because I believe in it massively, and I do think it depends on what niche you're in and what product you're trying to sell, the colours that you should use. So it's a good question, that, and I'll quite happily show you the stuff I've got on that.
It's quite interesting because I'd never looked at it until you showed.
Yeah, something I've always massively believed in, so I've got quite a lot on that. Okay, Wendy says a review setting up the resellers pages might be a help.
Yeah, we can do that, but it is actually covered in that webinar. We did a webinar that covered all the resellers of setting up everything.
Wendy, could you just let me know? I mean, if you've watched the webinar and you were still struggling, if not, if you could just do us a favour and go and watch the whole. We did a whole webinar on the setting up of resellers. So if you could just watch the replay of that, and if you still have an issue after that, then just raise a support ticket or bring it up as a question in here, and we'll look at exactly which part of it you need some help with. And someone is saying, is Twit Campaigner your software?
Yeah, it's one of my bonus softwares.
Yeah, it's one of Richard's.
If you've got any problems with that, just send me an email or a support ticket, and I'll.
Yeah, just raise a support ticket. If you have any issues with any of the softwares that either of us have given away, just raise a support ticket and we'll deal with it.
Okay.
Can we use it with Pixel? Say Twit Campaigner. Can we use it with Pixel?
No, not really.
No.
No, it's really just for marketing directly on Twitter.
Yeah, it's not to integrate or anything like that.
No.
It's just a separate piece of software.
Yeah, it's a complete separate piece of software.
Okay then, guys, so we'll wrap this one up and then hopefully see you all again next Thursday. And thanks for coming along as usual. And
yeah, much appreciated. So this
I hope you learned a little bit today from Richard's retargeting. I know I learned 2 things I didn't know, which was great. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.